welcome everybody to our first live Q&A for Truth Man. I'm going to try to do these every week that we drop new panels and have different people on the creative team, whoever can join. Some of our team's on here now just listening in and cheering us on. But for those of you who don't know, and you probably know because you're on here, I'm Adam Huss, and I'm an actor, writer who created this comic. And this man is...
Hey, I'm Bradley Bredeweg. How are you?
Bradley is an amazing producer, amazing human. Let's start with that. I was like that first. And an amazing producer of some groundbreaking projects that influenced Adam Bucci and I and people we know, like The Fosters and Good Trouble, and musicals and more. So his list of credits are endless and very impressive. So we approached Bradley with a different form of this project, and we were hoping that it would resonate with him. And I'll let you speak for yourself, but I think it did, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's been a couple of years now. I obviously got my hands on your beautiful original script. Started off as a feature script, and I immediately fell in love with it. I thought it felt like sort of this John Hughes meets gay comic book superhero world. It was heartfelt and really funny, and it felt completely fresh. Even though it sort of was a throwback to the movies that I think a lot of us grew up on. Um, I think at the time I was sort of deep in a couple of other things, right? But I kept thinking about it, and I kept circling back to it. And I think over time we just continued to trade some thoughts and notes. And Adam, you continued to work on the script, and it grew and grew and grew and evolved. And then I was like, hey, let's I think we both approached each other and we were like, let's keep going. Let's try to jump in and make something happen. And I said, all right, I think I'm ready this time. And brought on Randy Weiss, who we worked together on The Fosters and Good Trouble to help support on the producing side. And from there, we sort of just decided to really build out to this comic book world and community called Truth Man. And that's where we're at. That's where we are today.
Yeah, that was a great summary. And for those of you who don't know, yes, so originally Truth Man, it was not a cult. It's a movie called Original True that I wrote, like he said. And so inside the movie, there is a comic book because our protagonist is a comic book creator. And my inspiration was always, like he said, John Hughes movies, specifically Pretty in Pink. I love that movie. It's like that moment when Molly Ringwald said, when her dad said, "Why do you want to go?" I get goosebumps even saying it now. And she's like, "Because I want them to know they didn't break me."
Oh, such a great moment. My God, you're right. Yeah.
As a kid, like that, I didn't even know what was going on with me. I just heard that, and I was like, I just knew that I was an outcast in school at younger age. Things were said to me, and when she said that, I was like, yeah, that's why I'll keep showing up, you know? Yeah,
I don't think we've ever talked about that, actually. I love that. I love that kernel of inspiration for you.
Wow, I can't believe that we didn't, because yeah, we've
talked about Pretty in Pink specifically, and obviously some of the other John Hughes films, but not that specific moment, not that specific line. I love that. That's so. I remember it very specifically. Yeah.
Yeah. That was that for sure was the impetus to like create something like that. I mean, even if it was planted at that young age. And one day I was in Kentucky filming a movie, a Lifetime movie that I had a lot of time on in my hotel room. I was like, now's the time to write this thing. So I started writing this script. And so our protagonist is, instead of her Molly Ringwald's character, Andy, was a dress designer. And I was like, what if he was a comic book creator and he writes this comic called Truth Man, and it lampoons the school in such a way that no one knows who's writing it. It's this anonymous thing, but it becomes like the burn book from Mean Girls, where everyone's like, are you reading this thing? It's setting the school on fire. And then this one thing drops, and the whole school hierarchy changes because the popular kids get put on blast. And much like Mean Girls, all of a sudden the outcasts have the upper hand.
Mm.
And so our protagonist starts getting everything that he ever desired. And yeah, and so from that, fast, someone's saying, and from
So
that, he has to learn some lessons himself. He gets too powerful. And as we know in all great comic book legends, with great power becomes great responsibility, and he may misuse his. So that's where this idea came from with Truthman.
so
Bradley, you recommended building the IP out. Um, hey, Julianne, let's say hi to him, buddy of mine, director as well. Yeah, so yeah, talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind.
um sort of why the comic book world, why this territory for both of us, especially because it's very new territory for us.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I think because it had to be, right? You know, as we're starting to talk about this character, feels like it was born to live on the page first, you know, in really bold colors and traditional thought bubbles and sort of full emotional stakes on this brightly colored page. And so I think launching as a comic kind of allows us to build this community. You know, we want all of us to sort of feel like we're sort of birthing Truth Man together and sort of build this community of us togetherness, sort of a world build without limits, and invite all of our readers into Truman's story in a way that feels, I think, immediate and immersive. And I think those are all things that we're craving at this very moment in time. Um, and, you know, I think, let's be real, the best superhero stories always start in panels first. So why not ours? You know, it feels like we really, Truth Man deserves and Truman deserves this moment. So we're gonna build that first.
Love that. Yeah, I love that, and I love that idea. And again, like Bradley said, very new territory for both of us. I've always loved comic books actually as well, and superheroes, but I just never thought I'd write one. I've always wanted to write novels or YA novels, but this comic book thing is very new. So thankfully, we got an amazing team that we started putting together. Nicole Maines, who is not only an amazing actress, but also she writes for DC Comics. She created. I'm reading some questions on here. We'll get to those. I promise. I
You know.
need more than Superman. Yeah. No, it'll be heartfelt and sincere and genuine. So if you want to, I love Superman. I love the movie, and those messages are very important right now. So I don't call those things woke. I call them being aware of kindness and aware of we all need to help people out right now in the world, and that's what Truth Man's about. Which I'll
By
get
the
to.
way, you know, woke means we're awake, and so I think let's be awake together. We need more awakeness.
Love that. I love that. That's a great quote, and I love that. Yes, Jesse. Hi, Jesse. One of Jesse's on here as well. Um, so, oh, Adam was like, "Why aren't you live on the Truth Man?" So we have a Truth Man page, which we're not live on because more of us are connected on these socials. But you know, maybe next week we'll do the Truth Man page just to change it up a bit, just FYI, because there is a Truth Man Instagram page. Please follow that. It's at Truth Man Comic. So anyway, just what I was saying quick was, you know, there was again, never thought I'd be making a comic, but I feel like bringing on Nicole Maines, who is now a DC Comics writer. She started a trans superhero on the Flash and on Arrow and on Legends of Tomorrow in the Arrowverse on CW. She was hired to play this hero. People fell in love with this character. There was never a superhero, to my knowledge, and so they made Dreamer, who is kind of a spinoff of another character from the past DC universe, into this canon character on in the DC Comics arena. And then Nicole is now writing Secret Six. So her arc on that is wrapping up. So we were lucky enough to get her on board this. So she's breaking stories with me, and we're breaking at 12. Yeah, right. I know. Bow down.
You bow down to Nicole. It's like the moment we found out that Nicole was joining us, it just that alone was a huge moment, I think, for Truth Man. It's you know, she's a superhero in and of herself. So very lucky to have her.
100%.
Yeah.
She. How hope do you turn this one into a film show? Someone's asking. Um, And also, I saw a question before, kick-ass inspirations, all pump up the volume, all those things are inspirations and will be worked into this for sure. Anything that's like against the system, you know, against, and we're like, you know, that's one of the themes here of like rising up and having a voice for the underdog. But Bradley, maybe you can take that one. Like, Julian is asking, how soon will we make this from comic to film?
I think we want to sort of build out an organic pathway for us. You know what I mean? I think again, as I was saying earlier, this deserves this comic community moment first. And I think we're going to know sort of once we've fulfilled what that is, we will start to take steps to really build out the feature version. Obviously we're planning for that already. We're deep in talks in what the feature is going to be and how and when. But again, this comic book community deserves this moment. So let's play that out first, and then we'll step towards the other ways of storytelling.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And you know, our team is, by the way, not just Bradley and I, but it's my husband Adam Bucci. We have a company, Molecule Productions, Jesse Greer, Kat Del Rey, who have We're There Films, Randy Weiss, who works with Bradley on all of his great projects, and now she's on board this. So we are that's like our production, and we're constantly.
And Ryan Tominski, who's casting, Ryan, who's incredible. He cast Wicked and a bunch of other incredible projects. Ryan's a badass.
Thank you for adding him. Yeah, he's amazing, and he's going to help us put together some great names for the film. And again, this shift to the comic is now us. We got Nicole Maines on board as writer. We have Christopher Abels as our artist. And if you don't follow him, check him out on Instagram. He is unbelievable. He's been delivering panels, which you're going to see at noon today, and we'll do a little sneak peek here quickly. But his panels have been jaw-dropping, right, Bradley?
Oh, beyond our wildest dreams, I feel like. As they were coming in and Adam would sort of get them first and share them with us, we just all were like salivating for more. It's really spectacular, you guys. You're gonna lose your minds. You're gonna lose your minds.
Yeah, I agree. And someone is asking how we can support this, and I will say this: Randy just put the link in there for Patreon. That is, so the comic will go live on Patreon at noon today. Follow us at Truthman Comic. Kat put that in the Rome Misfits. Everyone's sort of putting the info in the chat, which is amazing. But we are a grassroots project right now. We really are. We're starting from scratch and building this community, so it all helps. And when you guys go to Patreon, you can join for free, or you can join one of the tiers. There's 3 different tiers. They all get you different perks and access to the panels. So that's the best way to support this right now and spread the word, because we want more people on board. Please.
Yeah, and maybe we should talk about a little bit more what the comic is going to
Yes.
be, sort of what they can expect from this first issue, right? I'm going to do my best. It follows Truman, who's this shy queer teen with a secret power. As we've said, he can't tell a lie. He can see when others do. Sort of in this world drowning in misinformation and curated identities. That power makes him really powerful and dangerous. So issue 1 introduces us to his small town, his high school hellscape, and sort of the mysterious origin of his abilities. All while he's trying to figure out who he is and who he loves, and how the truth might eventually just save the world, or maybe tear it apart. I mean, that's really sort of at the crux of what all of this is.
Yeah, that's a great summary. And I was trying to show an image here. Again, we're a little new to this, and I thought I could hit this and hit share. If anyone knows how to do that, let me know.
Might have to do it on our computer screens. We're so like, yeah.
Yeah,
How do you share on here?
true. And I will say, like, that was a great summary. And in this, it's interesting because in the movie, Truman is our hero that we're following live action wise. This isn't an animated movie, it's live action. And then the comic stuff comes to life in his mind, which is why we also wanted to create this comic, because you will see a bully, like, in his mind turn into a monster from these comics. So we really want you to be familiar with these monsters. so in the comic, and Nicole and I have talked about this a lot. Like, it's a little bit more of a fine line where you're really going to be following this guy. We don't know his name. He's a blonde young teen, and then he becomes Truth Man. He might be Truman. Like that's kind of the genesis of what he is. But he was a normal kid who saw these the world fall, and the world didn't fall from like a meteor or a zombie virus. What happened was the ugliness that was festering on people's insides and the hate started festering on their outside. They started growing scales, vicious creatures. And the ones who didn't, the outcasts, the people who are a little bit more on the fringes of society, who were trying to fight against it, they're not becoming the monsters just yet, but the other monsters are trying to get them to become that. And so Truman becomes Truth Man and trains himself like a Batman to fight against these monsters and save those who can't save themselves. But the twist is he doesn't just jump in and save them like a savior. He gets this power, like Bradley said. I don't want to tell you how, because that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets a special thing that allows them to see their potential. And I don't want to say why or how, but they can help join in on the fight. And that's a big part of it, is like, you two can join in on this fight. You know, it's not, you don't just need a hero, even though the hero is there.
Right.
And the truth is less about, Truth Man's less about being, spreading the truth about the world because everyone's lying, and more about seeing your true potential of who you are. And with that comes fighting against the darkness and the lies and stuff like that.
And not just fighting, but standing up for truth. You know what I mean? It's not always fighting. It's standing up for like what you truly believe in, and sort of the power of what that is. You know, yes, we're
Yeah.
fighting monsters, but we're fighting misinformation, and we're fighting, that ugliness that I think we all feel a little surrounded by right now.
Yep. That's exactly right. I'm going to show one of the images on the computer since
Since we're old school.
I'm, I'm kind of afraid if I hit a button, I'm going to like knock us off the live. And then I thought I checked that out before, but apparently it's not working. But first I'll show you a little, because you guys have seen bits and pieces of him. But this is Truth Man in all his glory.
Pretty badass.
See a little Snake Plissken in here from Escape from New York. It's young Kurt Russell. Bradley, you really liked the young Kurt Russell vibe. You kept saying, I love that too.
I did, and it felt like it was time for sort of the more modern version of that. You know what I mean? It's something, again, not to sound like an old person, but grew up on that film, loving every frame of that film, and like what's sort of the more modern, youthful version of that character? Because we we need someone like to save the world, like someone like that to save the world right now.
Yeah, I love that. And that's exactly right. Like, who, again, he's not necessarily a superpowered Superman. He's literally a human who decides, I want to stand up for what's right and help these people I see that maybe don't know how to help themselves. And I'm going to show you a sneak peek of the panels that, again, are dropping at noon. But I'll show you now. Does anyone have any other questions about why Russell is a modern version of Blonde? That's true.
I saw that. So cool. We should probably also tell them we're doing an initial 12 issue.
Yes.
12 issue arc, right?
Yep.
And each issue will dive deeper into everything we're talking about. Truman's powers, sort of the hidden forces, trying to kill him, silence him, allies and enemies that he collects along the way. We will also explore more origin stories and love stories and political intrigue and high school drama that we all kind of barely survived. So it's part comic book saga, part coming of age epic comic world.
Yes. I love that you said that there will be a love story, because people have asked me here and there, is Truth Man queer? Because he wears the pride flag and there's colors. There's a pride variant cover that we did. That'll be revealed. Truth is also figuring out who he is, and what he stands for. And he there will be a love interest along the way, and
There's
it will
gotta be. There's gotta be.
tie into what we're exploring in the movie, because Truman is an LGBTQ, gay protagonist, and so his hero is the same. But in the movie, Truman has to find the courage to sort of say that out loud, and Truthman will kind of have that same journey.
Yeah.
It's an exciting one, and along the way too. Someone asked me, "What is Truthman's weakness?" And I love that, because to me, his weakness is that he does believe that he can fight this all on his own, that he has to, that he has no other choice. So even when he helps these people fight with him, he thinks it's brief, and then he has to but he's got to be the one that stands up, and there's no gray areas for him, and he's going to learn the way there are other people, and there is gray areas even when it comes to the monsters.
Someone just asked, Twinks, question mark?
Yes, Tales is asking a lot of interesting questions.
I do want to reiterate, you said this, but let's talk about it a little bit more deeply. Truman is queer, and his powers are tied to his identity, and his journey, both emotionally and physically. And I think it's about navigating a world that often tries to erase or suppress difference, So I don't think we're coding queerness here, we're celebrating it. And his community and his relationships and his resistance are all grounded in LGBTQ plus experience without ever being just about that. It's about that and so much more.
Yeah. Thank you for just specifying that and elaborating on it, because he knows who he is, and he knows what he stands for, but it's just more about the courage of standing up for these other people. And journey, he does find a genuine love connection.
Yes. And it's going to be beautiful and awkward and electric and deeply human, and not just about ticking a box. We're going to tell a queer love story with all of the complications and heart of any iconic comic book romance, and then some. That's really the goal here, I think.
Yeah. And someone's saying Truthman reminds me of Sailor Moon. The more love he has for himself and others, the more he stands in his full potential. Yes.
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 Love that.
One of our influences.
Circle that, Miss Bubbles Nola.
Yeah. Love that.
I'm taking a screenshot of that. Hold on. Can I? Yes. Beautiful.
That was spot on, and definitely one of our influences. In fact, it's funny because at Comic-Con, I got to go to a panel, and it was a big Sailor. I didn't know it was, but there was a lot of Sailor Moon going on. And the more I heard them talking about that, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Things, I remember Sailor Moon, and then all of a sudden that stuff, those seeds again, like the pink thing, are planted and they grow, in this, especially at a time when we need it. So,
yeah.
Just him like Cyclops did Jean Grey. Any ideas for a crossover with John Kent's Superman's son? Okay, so the reason that's being asked, and by the way, hello, this is a great artist on here as well. He's done a lot of art of Sawyer for me. There probably won't be, because that's a whole different. DC Comics is DC Comics, and this is different from that. This is not a DC Comics creation, so there'll probably be some issues using that. So, no. Even though I'm sure Nicole and I would love to do that. Because for those of you who don't know, Superman's son, John Kent, is now queer. And he has a boyfriend in The Secret Six, Jay Nakamura. So it's pretty cool to see that. And he took over for being Superman for almost a year in the comic books, because Superman was like off planet. And he was John Kent. So we had a queer Superman for like a year, because he was the Superman. So that was pretty huge.
That was massive. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to show a sneak peek of one of the panels here. And again, I'm sorry it's on a computer, and there's the ring light. Let me check out.
Gotta have the ring light. I mean, come on. It's epic and gorgeous.
So this is actually the first panel. You're getting a glimpse of this. And Chris Abels just knocked it out of the park. And you'll see when you get to download this on Patreon, you got to go close, because it tells a story here. There's like bloody handprints on the garage. There's like a help sign up on the roof of the of the house. Um, and the cars and the explosion. I mean, it looks. I could just see it moving. You know, it's pretty.
Yeah. Chris knocked that out of the park. The details are insane. It's so layered.
Yes, Klossman and Iceman are now queer too. Oh, I think I knew that. Yes, I'm not. I'm not a big Marvel comic reader. I love the movies, but I haven't read a lot of Marvel. But I did. I do remember reading that. Cool. So, I mean, are there any other questions at this moment that anyone? Do we, Bradley? What did we miss?
Um, I mean, the countdown begins, right? We're launching the first panel in exactly 33 minutes, aren't we? Yeah,
Yeah,
32 minutes.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. And I don't want to show too much. There's like another panel of some of the monsters I was going to show. Do you think I should show that? Wait, let's see what Nola's saying. It's great to cross over to other mainstream properties, but let's find value and legitimacy in what's being built here without needing or wanting an assist from other properties. Yes, I agree with that. Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
good luck. Please follow us on Patreon. The link is in the bios of all these pages. It's on my personal bio too, the Patreon link to the Truth Man comic. And again, you could join for free, and then you got to pick a tier to see the panels. But I do agree with what she's saying. You know, we're establishing something fresh and new in its own. It's going to exist in its own world. You know.
Yeah. And I think just to go out, I think some things to say is, Truth Man, I think exists for all of us because I think especially so many young people are being told to stay quiet and stay small and stay safe. And I think Truth Man and Truman says, fuck that, speak,
Yeah.
fight, be seen, be heard, especially in a world where queer youth especially are still being bullied and censored and legislated against. I think Truth Man is a defiant scream against that. And he fights not just monsters, but he fights silence and dishonesty. So I think that's what this is all about. And I think that's why we exist. And I think that's why we're going to continue to build out this community.
Yeah. Love that. And that there's so much truth in that created this. And I want to say too, someone's asking where we can get a copy. I'll answer that in a second. I just want to say Nicole Maines, I read a forward that she wrote and I shared it with the team from the DC Pride issue, the second DC Pride issue, which was like a groundbreaking thing to have a DC Pride issue. I think it was 2023 for those who want to find it. I also posted it on the Patreon. And, she said superheroes are known to have courage, right? And fight for the underdog and be that person. But she said her dad says it takes a kid who knows he's going to go to school and not have a great day
Mm-hmm.
and be accepted and be teased and be made fun of and maybe, feel threatened to show up every day, show up with the courage to like just go there and be his authentic self. That's a real superhero.
Yeah.
Again, that was when I read that, I was like, that is another reason this comic exists. That's another reason Truth Man exists. And Truth Man, again, is a regular kid who decided that he was going to stand up and have some courage, and that's what makes him a superhero.
Yeah, and he's not perfect. He's if anything, he's a little pissed and angry and he's messy, but he's honest. And I think that's what makes him revolutionary sort of in this world, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. That is exactly right. He's not doing it perfectly, and again, I'll say this: that was a big issue for Superman and why he was so vulnerable in this movie. And I'm not talking about Superman, but I'm not talking about this, that people have trouble relating to someone who is invincible, who has what's the issue? This guy's, stronger than anyone in the whole world. And that's not Truth Man. He's learning his powers along the way. He's learning what his strength is, what his power is, what his superpower is. So it'll be a fun journey to take. You'll see it, especially again on this first run of this 12-issue run that we're doing. You'll see all those themes tackled, and his arc will be very specific and a fun one to follow. And there'll be adventure and excitement, scary monsters. Yeah. So I think we covered it, right?
I think we did it. For our first one, I'm very, very proud of us. We did it. We did a fun little live, and we got to talk about something that we're all really passionate about right now. I'm so excited about this, Adam. I think, the world that you've created and the characters that you've really put your heart and soul into. I'm so thrilled for you in particular and this great team that you have been building and we've been building. It's an honor to do this with you. This came from your heart and soul, and I'm lucky to stand by you. I really am, and thank you for bringing me along on the journey because it's really, really, really special. It's really special, and I can't wait for everyone to come along with us.
Hey, man, I'm an emotional guy, and you're making me almost cry here because I'm fighting them back because I feel the same way about you. Like to have you say yes when Bucci approached you, they did Suzanne's musical together. It was like such a vote of confidence because we're all trying to make our stuff, we're all trying to believe in our stuff, and sometimes we get a lot of no's, and along the way you can say, hey, maybe this is something wrong with this. So to get a vote of confidence from you, who's created such amazing things that have changed the world and what you stand for, that to me was like, okay, we're doing this. So thank you, and I thank you for being here and behind this whole thing. And
Thank you for having me as one of your partners, and honored to do the first live with you for Truth Man. I'm so excited we got to do this. Let's do more, and we'll continue to build out everything with all of you.
love that. I want to read real quick what Miss Bubble said, and then we'll wrap this up. But I think Truth Man will show true safety in the ability to believe, stand in, and honor yourself despite the circumstances or pushback around you.
Yes, Miss Bubbles, for the truth. My God.
We love Miss Bubbles.
I know, loving.
Thank you
Miss
all.
Bubbles, you might have to join us for a live one day soon.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I
I think
know.
you DM us, Miss Bubbles.
Yeah. Once you look at more of this, Miss Bubbles, we'll invite you to be a guest.
Yeah. And Patrika, hello. She just joined. We are wrapping up, but this will go up live. We'll put this on, the pages, Patreon page, this video, and you guys can check it out. We answered a lot of the questions about what this comic is, how this came together, why Bradley and I are so excited about it. And hi, Garrett. We're wrapping up, but yeah, we just for now, panels will be dropping in 25 minutes. Yeah, just enjoy the comic. Again, like it's starting right now. It starts today, but each week you'll get more and more of the story, and by week 8, you'll get the whole story. That'll be one mini issue of the comic book. So that'll tell a whole origin story of Truth Man and how he kind of gets his power, what he becomes, and where things might go from there.
Thank you for hanging out. I'm so glad we did this. Let's launch this baby in 25 minutes, like you said.
Yes. Okay. Thanks for being here, Bradley. And maybe hopefully we'll do one again. Bradley won't be able to be on these, but we'll see where we can pop in here and do some more because I love everything you have to say always. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. So excited. Let's go.
Thanks for all the wonderful comments. You guys have a great day. See them all. We're going to go back and read everyone. But thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Go to Patreon. Thank you. Links in bio.
Truth
Bye.
Man forever. Bye.
Forever.